How you doing, Patriots? Got some live TV going on here. This is 00 Jericho. Today is March 8th. It's a Friday. 2024, day 1158 of Clown World. Hey, Carol Burton, hello. Beverly and Sharon, hello. How are you? Welcome. This is J6 News Updates and Chat. We're going to be covering the J6 Vigil. In Washington, D.C. Sorry, I was getting distracted here. It's very hard not to get distracted, by the way, when I'm doing this, because I'm reading screens, I'm looking at numbers, trying to figure out network and, sunlight, all that kind of stuff, man. So we're going to be talking about the J6 Vigil at Freedom Corner last night in Washington, D.C. That was vigil number 585 in a row. But before we get into that, we've been covering the Amos Miller topic here. And let's see, I'll get my Amos Miller graphic in here. Amos Miller's Organic Farm. And what I want to do is I'll read you the newspaper article that was in the paper here in Lancaster this morning about it. We're going to do a little analysis of smear reporting, how these newspapers just totally take the truth and insert lies, insert misinformation, create chaos out of something that could potentially be clear, How they make it hard to understand when it really shouldn't be that hard to understand. If they were proper journalists, they'd be doing a good job at this and not having us all confused. Hello, Third of its kind. I heard you were under the weather, Third. Prayers up for the Patriots that are under the effects of this crud, this bug, this flu, whatever you want to call it. Seems like it lasts about a week or two. It's not a quickie. It's one you just hunker down and get some rest. Okay, Third's getting some stuff, some pseudo something, and all right. Yeah, take care of yourself, Third. You guys are all important here. Part of the crew that's saving the country. All right, I got to find my place in this article here. Crying out loud. So Amos Miller is an Amish farmer here in Lancaster who sells milk and cheese and meat and all kinds of good farm-raised, homegrown stuff. And the feds want to make it sound like he needs some type of permission from them to do all this. But this is something that people in this country have been doing since the 1600s. And all of a sudden now we got this tyrannical government that wants to overstep our bounds and micromanage our lives and tell us everything that we can and can't do. And this is the latest saga in the Amos Miller case. The feds have came after him. He kind of got out. He squiggled his way out of that one last year. Now the state of Pennsylvania is coming after him for pretty much the exact same things. The article today in today's paper, Friday, March 8th, of the LNP, Lancaster Online newspaper says, Miller files new request. Asks for right to sell raw milk and other products out of state. So Miller has an operation where he is selling organic products across state lines. He also sells them out of his farm right here in Lancaster. So he's selling them to Pennsylvanians and he's selling them to people outside the state. Upper Lecoq farmer Amos Miller wants a Lancaster County judge to allow him to sell raw milk and related dairy products to out-of-state customers. That's the first line of this article. So let's just go through that first sentence here, man. Amos Miller wants a Lancaster County judge to allow him. All right, so I don't think that this is actually truthful. I don't think Amos Miller really cares what the judge says or what the laws say. He's a farmer, he sells stuff, and he wants to be able to sell it. And I think he's just going through the motions to allow this court to show its tyranny over him. He's not asking the court to allow him to do anything, but according in legal speak and lawyer talk, that's what they're doing in this courthouse here. Wants him to sell raw milk. All right, so first of all, Amos Miller doesn't. What is raw milk? What, is there unraw milk? Is there cooked milk? Yes, as a matter of fact, there is cooked milk, and that's the milk you all buy in every one of these every one of your grocery stores right now. Okay, the milk that you buy is pasteurized and homogenized. That's two processes that all the milk that's sold in all the stores by all the judge-sanctioned stores are selling right now. So that's modified milk. Raw milk is actually just milk, and that is what Amos Miller sells. It's just milk. And to call it raw milk is a stretch of it's trying to command us to use the certain pronouns for this milk. But that's how they always word it in these articles. Wants the judge to allow him to sell raw milk and related dairy products to out-of-state customers. All right, sentence 2. Miller is the Amish farmer who has been the subject of federal and state efforts to compel him to follow food safety rules. Okay, note the word rules. So is he in court because the laws say he can't, he's in non-compliance with the laws? Or are these rules? Are these customs? Are these attempts to control people? It doesn't say laws, it says food safety rules. Next sentence. State Department of Agriculture inspectors raided his farm in Upper Lecoq Township on January 4th, prompted by 2 illnesses late last year, one in New York and one in Michigan, traced to Miller's raw eggnog. False statement. This topic was dissected in the court hearing that was here in Lancaster, and it was found that there is no conclusive proof that any of Amos Miller's products caused anybody to get sick. Yes, there was a sick person in Michigan and there was one in New York, but there is no proof whatsoever. There is only conjecture that that was Amos Miller's food products. And in fact, the one woman who died, her caretaker said the woman who died did not have any of Amos Miller's products. So that is a blatant lie right on the front page of the Lancaster LNP Lancaster Online newspaper today. And they consistently put that sentence in every single article about Amos Miller here. That's a smear campaign. And it was extensively hammered out in the court case here on last 2 Thursdays ago by Miller's attorney, Robert Barnes. Next sentence. Last Friday, Lancaster County Judge Thomas Spinagle ruled against Miller's request that the injunction on all sales be lifted. So Miller came in and said, let me sell my products. The state raided me, put a hold on all these products, and he was requesting, hey, let me sell my products. And the judge ruled against that. Next sentence. In their Monday filing asking a judge to allow out-of-state sales, Miller's attorneys say they're raising a significant legal question, that being whether the state's raw milk laws can reach beyond the state of Pennsylvania. Can the state of Pennsylvania make a law, a rule, or some other type of a rule? Can they tell you what you can and can't sell in North Dakota? Can they go and say you can't sell this over in Wisconsin or Virginia or Maryland or anywhere, Florida? Can Pennsylvania law do that? I say no. I say no. That would be a contortion of everything that I know about state laws right there. And once again, the raw milk laws, whether the state's raw milk laws can reach beyond the state of Pennsylvania. Once again, use our words, use my pronouns. Next sentence. The attorneys wrote that Miller will face substantial, irreparable injury if he can't sell to out-of-state customers. And those customers will suffer substantial harm if not afforded access to these products. So Amos Miller sells certain products that have been shown and proven to help kids with certain things like, I'm not sure, but ADHD. There are certain things that this milk, real milk, helps with certain things. There's no conclusive study from a college, an accredited Ivy League college about any of this being true, but mothers who have children with these problems have realized that if they get the real milk, that they don't have these problems anymore. And that could be because there's a lot of junk in milk in the stores. Okay, next sentence. However, federal law requires that milk shipped between states be pasteurized. So here this newspaper is stating that federal law already requires that all milk shipped between states be pasteurized. When did that happen? When did our federal government come out and dictate us a law that all milk must be pasteurized? Right there's tyranny exposed, people. Tyranny exposed. I think any decision about milk should be made by a farmer, okay? Not the federal government, not Matt Gaetz, not any of these guys in government. They're not farmers, but yet supposedly there is a federal law. Next sentence. Miller's California-based attorney, Robert E. Barnes, said in an email when asked about that on Thursday that it's been challenged in court and the Federal Food and Drug Administration has agreed not to enforce the ban. So, all right, we're being told that the federal law requires all milk being shipped between states be pasteurized, and now we're being told that the Federal Food and Drug Administration has agreed to not enforce that ban. Their benevolence says that they're not going to enforce the tyrannical law on us in the first place that shouldn't be there in the first place. My head just spins when I'm reading this garbage. Next sentence. Barnes said the state agricultural officials know that, and they're trying to usurp the FDA's role and sidestep the challenge. So here we got the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture is trying to come in and say, FDA dropped the ball. We want to go hassle this Amish farmer. So we're going to jump in with the weight of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's legal department, and we're going to go mess with this guy, Amos Miller, because the feds couldn't do it, because he won against the feds. He wrestled the feds into submission in the first place. Next sentence. Spinagle issued his order precluding Miller from selling raw milk following a February 29th hearing on a request by the state agriculture department. So we got a judge now who issued his order and precluding Miller from selling raw milk following a hearing brought on by the agriculture department. So the agricultural department came in, raided Miller, and then got a judge to say, yep, Amos can't sell any of his stuff now. And they confiscated a bunch of stuff. They put tags on everything else and said he can't sell anything. Not meat, not soap, not shampoo, not milk, not cheese, not yogurt, and all milk products that he has been making. The agency sought the court order to prevent Miller from selling goods while its larger case plays out against him. So they're just trying to drag their feet. They brought a case against this guy, and you can't just tell all your cows to stop producing milk. You got dairy cows, you got to milk those cows, man. You can't just stop that. And then he would have to just dump all that if he can't sell it or give it away. I guess he could give it away. I think that is one of the loopholes here that we'll get to here shortly. Next sentence. The department sued Miller on January 24th, saying his business doesn't have permits to sell raw milk or raw cheese, nor does it have a required retail license. The lawsuit followed the January 4th raid. So after they raided him, they told the judge he doesn't have our permission, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's permission to sell raw milk, which is just regular milk, raw cheese, which is just cheese, nor does it have a retail license. So it's technically here in Pennsylvania, food is a non-taxable item. So I would imagine there's some kind of legal mumbo-jumbo thing there where this is food. We're not talking about goods, consumer goods. We're talking about life-sustaining necessities, and you need a license to sell life-sustaining necessities here in Pennsylvania, apparently. Next sentence. But more than 350 people wrote declarations to the court ahead of the February 29th hearing, saying how important Miller's products are to them or their family members. And several people testified to that point at the hearing. So not only did 350 happy customers vouch for Amos, there has never been a complaint issued against Amos Miller's farm by any of his customers. Never, ever. Okay, Spinagel's order acknowledged their beliefs in the benefit of raw milk. So Spinagel's saying, all right, you may find good in these products. He also said at the hearing that changes to state law regarding food is the responsibility of the legislature, not the courts. All right, so there's either a law here or there isn't. And somehow or another, this thing's all tied up in courts. And the judge in charge of this course is saying that the legislature's allowed. If you want to change laws, you got to make the legislator do it, and then I'll rule on it. So there you go. All right, Crying in the Dark says no retail license needed to operate a PMA. That's the club membership that Amos Miller is running there. Okay. So what are we doing in the courts? Why are we in court? Apparently there's some type of an interpretation of Pennsylvania law that the Department of Agriculture feels they had a right to go in and raid this guy's farm, man. Miller's attorneys are also asking the court to order the owner of the website millersorganicfarm.com to stop marketing Miller's products. Barnes said at the hearing that Miller doesn't have anything to do with the website and that it's falsely marketing his products. So here we got an imposter. Somebody started up a website called millersorganicfarm.com and started selling organic milk. That doesn't even come from Miller's Organic Farm, okay? So they had to go to the judge and ask him to put a stop to that guy. Where's law enforcement in this, by the way? Why do we got to go to a judge? Can't you just go to the cops and say, that person's selling food, and saying I'm the one selling it to them when they're not, okay? Amos Miller does have a website that's called AmosMillerOrganicFarm.com. So you see what they did? AmosMillerOrganicFarm.com versus MillersOrganicFarm.com. There's an imposter out there trying to make money off of Amos Miller's name. The website's owner could not immediately be identified on Thursday. Barnes told LNP the name of a woman who he said was behind the site and that she's been told for more than a year to stop marketing under Miller's name. But Lancaster newspaper, the diligent journalists that we are, we tried diligently. We had the woman's name, we had her website, but LNP, Lancaster Online, was unable to locate a reliable number for the woman. They couldn't find the woman. Okay. For a year, Amos has been telling this woman, stop doing that, stop doing that. No law enforcement, nothing being done, nothing to protect the public from an imposter person selling stuff under Miller's name and, potentially harming customers, potentially harming Miller's reputation. It's not Miller, but she's selling it under his name. Miller's case has, all right, then that's that about this. Next sentence. Miller's case has drawn national attention from the far-right media, and as of Thursday afternoon, an online fundraiser set up to support his operation had raised more than $265,000. Oh my God, this Amish guy is making money off of this, people. The outrage they're trying to get us to, the outrage that they're trying to instill for Amos Miller is just incredible. Do you see the bias to this garbage? This is the newspaper I got to read every day. It's just horrible, man. It's horrible. Miller's case has drawn national attention from far-right media. Well, the only reason it's far-right media is because the other media isn't reporting on it. We got something going on here that they're just silent about, and just anytime they do report on it, it's full of lies like this. But they call it the far-right. The far-right. I'm a far-right guy that drinks raw milk. The ridiculousness of it all. It's crazy. It just gets me riled up, Patriots. I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, hello, Lana Lewis. Hello, Glory B. ACB. Yeah, the mainstream media, it's just garbage, man. You gotta, puke it back up after you digest it, like a bird. Oh, hey, Priscilla. Oh, Doom Loop, thanks for joining us. Did I tell you? Oh, wait, here, I got something for you, man. There we go. There we go. Doom Loop showed up just to hear a Jesus message today. Thanks for being here, Doom Looped. Jesus loves you. He wants you to be saved. He wants you to live a happy life. Can't save yourself. Yeah, so this Amos Miller thing is just one outrage. We got the J6 issues. We got the illegal immigrants coming in. It is government usurpation, and the government is not going to be coming in to fix the problem that they have created, man. All right, Glory B, you're finally on the mend. That's good to be on the getting better every day side of that, right? Okay, pasteurization process. Here, I'm going to post that one there. ACB makes protein molecules small enough to bypass the blood-brain barrier and directly enter the bloodstream. So that's why. So actually, this pasteurization process is dangerous, okay? There is a danger to it. And a lot of the mothers with these children, I can't remember if it was ADHD or autism, are saying that it helps their kids. It helps their kids. The farmers protest. I don't know of a farmers protest yet. Hi, Deb for Freedom. How are you? Good to see you. I'm on a little early today, folks, because the weather's good. It might start raining. Oh, the farmer protests across the world. Yes, they're happening everywhere. Germany, France, Netherlands. The farmers are in an outrage, and I'll tell you what, folks, this is going to be happening here too. There's going to be tractors coming into Lancaster sooner or later over this one, man. All right, there you go, Doom Looped. Now you can go home. You got your message. Your blood isn't on my head. So so if you do want to, check out Amos Miller's products and get some more information on them, you can go to his website, AmosMillerOrganicFarm.com. And then I told you about a YouTuber who we met at the protest here in Lancaster 2 Thursdays ago. And I told you about this YouTuber named The Shepherdess. And she just put out a really good half-hour video on that today. She was interviewing Robert Barnes, the attorney. And man, she's just really good at asking questions. And Robert Burns didn't go overboard on the explanations, man. He answered her questions and stopped talking. And the Shepherdess was ready with another great question, man. It was a really good digest of where we're at with the Amos Miller thing on the national thing. I mean, she's got a lot of subscribers, so she's getting out to everybody. But farmers all across the country are into this case because there's thousands and thousands of farmers that are just like Amos, or that they're not necessarily Amish, but they grow their own food and they sell to their neighbors, and they have a fruit stand out at the end of the driveway, and they split cows, and all kinds of food sharing and stuff like that. So why do we got to pay taxes on all that stuff? It's a necessity. They're going to start taxing the air we breathe or the sunlight. What the hell? Okay, I just saw something there. Breaking. Epic Times reporting President Trump posts 91 million bond in the defamation case. That's great, because I hope she never gets her hands on that. But now she can see it there. It's like dangling the carrot out in front of her. What a piece of garbage, man. I don't believe a word of that. Let's go. FJB at least said lowering prescription drug. What's he going to do? Wave a pen and say, what is government doing in capitalism, period? Let my farmer make my food decisions for me. Why is abortion even a government issue? Let my doctor and the patient make a medical decision on that. But you got insurance companies inserted in the middle of that relationship and the middle of the food relationships, okay? There's always an insurance company in there. And insurance companies got a flock of lawyers standing right behind them. And that's why we need all these goofy laws. Agate, what are you talking about, dude? You guys, get real, man. Come on, man. Can we all just come together? We got FJB sitting in the White House. Are you guys behind this guy? For crying out loud, man. Jesus is our king. We're good. We don't really care. We're out of here, okay? We're saved. We're going to have a beautiful eternity. But can we please just come together and make this existence on this planet right now, before we all die, a happy place for everybody to live with life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Is that so hard to ask? Is that so hard to ask? Come on, man. Glory be, I agree. This socialist regime has its hands into too much of our stuff. They got our hands into everything, glory be. I mean, they did it while we weren't looking. We weren't paying attention. We were watching the boob tube. We were watching the football. We were, it's our own fault we're here, but now we see where we're at. We're chest deep in manure, standing in garbage that the government's put us into, and here we are. It's time to start standing up and start shoveling. All right, so we're on board with that. Let's go, okay? You're right? Don't want the government in all these decisions, man. Why did the Supreme Court have the right to say anything about abortion 50 years ago? And they divided us with that issue for 50 years. When in actuality, the government has no right to be in the middle of a doctor-patient relationship. The government really has no right to be in the middle of a food producer-consumer relationship. That's products necessary for survival. We all have to eat. But then they got the government coming in, and in some states, food is taxable. So now they got to determine, if they want to tax things, they got to determine what is taxable food and what is just garbage food that you shouldn't be eating anyways. And we get into all kinds of arguments on that, you know. Can you buy Cheetos with food stamps? Is Cheetos food? Just multiple ways of dividing us up. We the people getting divided up, man. 2020 federal judge blocks Trump's lowering of the drug prices. As I think it should be. Okay, so it's called medical autonomy. Okay, there we go. I could have just said that word. See, I'm just a knucklehead with a phone, okay, and a YouTube channel. I'm no super genius here. All I know is what I see. It was hard to listen to that speech last night. The gaslighting and the lies. The J6, he launched into, from the get-go, Ukraine. And then he threw J6 on top of all that. And come on, man. Come on, man. Unbelievable. All right, so that was a half hour of ranting. Sorry, Patriots, sorry. But if you want the scoop in a more well-worded and concise way, go check out the Shepherdess, because she does it way better than me. Ruth Bader Ginsburg said the government shouldn't be an abortion. But she voted to put the government in that, didn't she? She was one of the justices that voted for the decree that anybody should be able to get an abortion, man. Hi, WZ. Good to see you in here. Finally got caught up with us, man. Yeah, that speech last night, man. All right, here's our problem. Here's our problem. Let's go. Let's analyze. Let's go. All right? Dude, you're doing this to yourself. I don't mind the government overseeing our food. Otherwise, we would all get sick without regulation. Is that true? Is that true? Or would just the stupid people who don't know where to buy their food or store their food, would those be the people getting sick? Now, how do they make regulations to make us not get sick with food? Because you make the food not go bad. How do you make food not go bad? You throw preservatives in it, okay? I don't want food with preservatives in it just because you're too stupid to put the milk in the refrigerator, all right? I want to have real food that isn't modified, and I know how to take care of it and sniff the milk before I pour a glass of it, you know? There's people out there, let's go, that will buy milk, leave it out on the counter for a week and drink it, and then they get sick, and then they want to sue the farmer or the store, all right? We would not all get sick without regulations. That's malarkey. And then further, when you do get sick, where do you go for healing, for advice on how to get better? Okay? If you got an insurance company, your insurance company is going to tell you where you can and can't go, where they will pay the bill and where they're not going to pay the bill. Okay? So if you got a blown out back, you're going to go to the butchers, the surgeons, to get fixed. All right? And the government or your insurance company will pay for that, but they won't pay for you to go to the reflexology guy or the acupuncture guy or the nutritionist or the person who's going to tell you what vitamins and what foods you should be eating to help your back heal. So here we get into it. I don't need any government regulations, but because you feel you do, you're demanding that I live under your regulations, and I don't want that. That is not my life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. If you need that, and you don't know how to tell if the milk is bad or not, and you want sterilized milk because you don't know how to take care of the milk, fine. I don't have any problem with the government stating, if you buy milk, you should do this, or you should buy this kind of milk because it doesn't go bad as fast. Then that's fine. But don't make me live under your regulations. Do you see how that works? I don't want to make a law that everybody has to believe in Jesus, because that just wouldn't be right, okay? God himself will call those he wants to see believe. And we don't need to make a law about it, man. I don't want to have a law that everybody has to have a mullet, you know? So let's just live and let live here. It's the people that want all these regulations that are just ruining it all, man. Sorry, dude, but thanks for the comment. Putin doesn't allow GMO. Italy doesn't allow GMO. Go try to buy a loaf of bread right now that doesn't have engineered with genetic products. All bread is that way. All crackers are that way right now. Everything that's got wheat in it, unless it says organic on the label, has got genetically modified bioengineered products in it. I don't want to be eating that stuff, okay? And soon I'm going to have to go to Amos Miller's to get bread because it's not available in the stores anymore. There is still 1 or 2 loaves of bread. You go down that aisle, it's all bread, and it's 98% of them have bioengineered products in them, man. Yeah, and I don't want pesticides in it. I don't want hormones in it. I don't want Monsanto genetically modified seeds. I don't want that. You can have that. You're totally entitled to have that here because you have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But as soon as your fear dictates what I can do, that's when you just overstep the bounds. That's when government oversteps the bounds. Let's let government come up with qualifications for food storage and for healthy food ingredients versus garbage food ingredients. You know, I'm all for that. I'm all for letting the government tell us how to make your business handicap accessible. Okay, that's fine, man. But don't put me out of business if I can't put a 36-inch doorway in the front of my restaurant, you know? We had a lot of restaurants that were in these beautiful old buildings here that weren't allowed to continue being restaurants because of the ADA Act, man. They wanted to renovate, but they couldn't get the doorways because it's a stone building that's 300 years old. They ruined it, man. Ruined it. But let's let the government come up with guidelines. And if you want to follow those guidelines, let's have a sticker so you can put on your sign or up in your window. It says, yes, we are government sanctified and American Disabilities Act qualified, so that anybody, any handicapped person can get in here, because the government set all the standards that told you how to get a handicapped person into your store. No more Hellman's mayo or Progresso soup. I've not seen the bioengineered on all of their products. But I'm looking. I'm telling you, I'm reading all the labels now, and I'm shocked on how unavailable, unadulterated food is right now at the stores. And I am changing my buying habits, no doubt about it. So hopefully, in a realm where capitalism rules, they're going to make the determination, do they still want to make these products available because people stopped buying the genetically modified stuff? That capitalism will even all that out, man. And if I see a hole and the capitalism decides not to sell unmodified stuff, I can start a business up in America, okay? That's how capitalism works. Yeah, Amber Rose, I like the salt, though. I need salt. Salt is a necessity. But you're right, I'd rather have homemade soup, that's for sure. Right, WZ. You're reading the labels too, and it's shocking, man. And it does seem to be certain products that has that in it, and wheat is one of them. And look at all the problems people are having with wheat. How many people did you know with celiac disease 40 years ago? Not that many, but now all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of people that don't do well with the modified wheat, and now we call them celiac disease, and we call that gluten. And I don't even know what gluten is, but it's real. It's real. I know people that have it. If they eat gluten, they're hurting. They're in pain. Yeah, just start, reading the lists, man. Himalayan salt is good, yeah. Yeah, if it's canned, it's got a lot of salt. That's how they preserve it in there. That's for sure. Salted meat, you can't live on beef jerky. I mean, there's just so much salt in that you would overdose on salt trying to survive on something like that. All right, that's my Amos Miller rant. That's my government rant. Let's get on to Freedom Corner last night. Vigil number 585. Or wait. Vigil number 586. We got a good call from Taylor Jonatakis. We got a call from Chris Quaglin, Mark Brew. Chris called back because he wasn't done yet and went all the way to the end where Greta goes, you have 1 minute remaining, and then they cut him off, Yeah, Chris had a lot to say last night, mostly having to do with his ongoing troubles with the court system and the jail system there. They are throwing every whammy on Chris Quaglin as they possibly can. I can't imagine where this is all going to pan out, if it's ever going to pan out. I mean, sooner or later, it's got to come to an end, though. I think Chris has got him screwed, man. Somehow or another. That's why he hasn't come to trial yet. I think he's got it. But we'll see. We'll see. They're going to have to keep this going somehow without making it look like a charade that it is. Kraft Parmesan cheese by Real and shred it myself. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I just saw something about the shredded cheeses have, there's something in to make it shredded and not go bad in the bag. They got to put something in there that is not good for you. Chris Quaglin's first call, Chris Quaglin said his sentencing was getting pushed back. He was scheduled to get sentenced here, I think on the 12th of March, but he says that's been pushed back now. So they are just totally messing with him there. My notes are scant on the vigil last night because we had a great chat going, man. If you want to join in with the chat, there's always a great talk going on in the chats too, man. Mark Brew got on. He was talking about the State of the Union address and the fact that while he was on the phone, we were getting reports that the Pennsylvania Avenue outside the Capitol, where the State of the Union address takes place, was blocked. The motorcade could not get through the up to the Capitol because somebody was blocking the road. And when I finally got a chance to look at all that this morning, there were thousands of people out there sitting in the road, singing songs, chanting little nursery rhymes, and holding up signs and stuff, while bike police just kind of shuffled through them, and they slowly all moved out of the way. But was that obstruction of an official proceeding? Does that sound familiar to all us J6 issues here? All these people that are up on the J6. Obstructing an official proceeding is punishable by determines just it matters what judge you're listening to, but that could be a 4-year sentence, man. But all these people just got away with it. So thousands of people just obstructed an official proceeding again It's been happening over and over and over the last couple of months here in the Cannon building, in the Senate building, in the Capitol, in Washington, D.C., and capitals all over the country. They're being interrupted by protesters for Hamas. And you know what? They're all saying FJB also, by the way. Could be a God thing, maybe. I don't know. But these people who are supporting Hamas are saying FJB. So I think we got that going for us right there. So that's what Chris wanted to talk about, was that obstruction of an official. How could they be not charging them people, but charging Chris for the same exact thing? At the end of the night, then, we got a call from Jeff Sable, and he had another guy on called John Todd, I believe. I could be wrong on that name. And then they sang the national anthem, and the protesters at the Capitol, again, was the topic of conversation. Our benevolent government's passed the Laken Riley bill. Oh, yay, what are we going to do? Thank God they passed the Laken Riley bill. But 170 Democrats didn't think that it was prudent to pass a bill that says if an illegal immigrant who's here, that we know is an illegal immigrant, and he commits a crime while he's here, that illegal immigrant should be put in jail and deported. 170 people in the Democrat Party believed that should not be done. Requires the deportation of criminal migrants. And we'll be calling them Biden migrants from now on. So that Laken Riley Act passed 251 votes in the House to 170 votes. So that means there were some Democrats, quite a few, 30 at least Democrats that did vote for that. So that's the good news. But what all the right-wing media people, all right, here's where right-wing media is a little weird. They didn't report the cohesiveness of this vote. They didn't vote that 30 Democrats crossed the aisle and voted with Republicans on this. They reported that 170 of them didn't vote for it, okay? To me, somebody who wants to unite all of us together, I would point out the fact that 30 or 40 Democrats just voted with the Republicans. I think that's a reason for celebration. But like all the right-wing media guys, they weren't pointing that out. They were magnifying the fact that there were 108 or 170 Democrats still do not agree that we should deport Biden's migrants who come here and commit crimes. They felt that we shouldn't do that. And furthermore, don't we already have laws on the book for that? I don't understand why Congress needed to stop everything and make this, other than grandstanding on the death of a beautiful woman, somebody's daughter. Put yourself in their shoes, man. Put yourself in Laken Riley's parents' shoes. This is an outrage. I mean, our country is almost 250 years old, and you're telling me we got to make a special act of Congress to make that illegal? Something's wrong in the country if we need an act like that passed by Congress at this point in our history. Glory be. I don't think last night was an official proceeding. It was a Dem rally that conservatives had to suffer through. Oh my God. That was, I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. That's the first time I sat through start to finish a Joe Biden speech. And it was horrible. It was horrible. I just wanted to grab the phone and smash it, But I didn't, because I'm a peaceful guy. Yeah, they should be deported at the border, cried. Why are they here in the first place? And then they commit a crime. Then they kill Americans. And still, they're not getting prosecuted. Still, the ICE agents aren't being brought in and say, hey, this guy, get him out of here. They still can't do that for some reason. Their hands are tied by Biden's pen. After the anthem, Jeff Sable and John Todd were talking about also this Victoria Nuland woman, who is the she's like the head of the State Department's activities in Ukraine. And this woman has been in position from way back. She's been all in charge of whatever's going on in Ukraine ever since the Crimean uprising in 2014, which is when Putin says that this latest Ukraine war started. It didn't start a year or two ago with Zelensky. It started in 2014 when the CIA came in and instituted a color revolution and caused part of the country to split off against the majority of the people that were there that wanted to just stay part of Russia still. I mean, there's a big advantage to being part of Russia, you know, just like there's a big advantage of being part of the United States of America. And this Victoria Nuland, she was in charge of it. Victoria Nuland also testified about 6 months ago. I think Rand Paul was questioning her or somebody. And she admitted that we had biolabs in Ukraine. And when I heard that, I was like, what? Just as I suspected, though. Biolabs, American biolabs, were in Ukraine on the border of Russia, right there. There's also information out there that the CIA had stations over there too. So what's the CIA doing over there? I don't know. Everything they do is secret. Here we are, America. Here we are. So Victoria Nuland has announced her resignation. I don't think she resigned yet, but it's another one of these resignations. I'm going to resign in next year. But apparently there is a replacement in line. Jeff Sable said his name was John Babs or something. I got to look all this up. I'm sure he is no better than Victoria Nuland. And then they got on a little bit of chit-chat about the Fanny, whoever her name is, down in Georgia. And apparently a Fanny staffer was threatened by her. And somebody was testifying that, yes, they saw Fanny threaten one of her staffers. Yeah, Gary, FJB was all jacked up on something, and it definitely wore off a half hour into the speech there. He was angry Grandpa Joe there for a while, and it's pathetic watching that. It is pathetic watching that. No way. One of the Ukrainian biolabs was in a town called China, Ukraine. No way. How ironic. How ironic. Yeah, we were thinking, is that really Joe? Or has Joe ever really been Joe? When you look at Joe the president, Joe the vice president, he doesn't look like Joe the senator. So I don't know what's up with the who is Joe thing. It is kind of funny, though. And I do know that the present Joe has 2 different earlobes. You know, for 2 years, there was all this right-wing conspiracy shit about Joe's Biden isn't the same guy. And they'd show one earlobe from one picture and one earlobe from another picture. And say it's 2 different Joes. But it's not true. Watch the speech. When he turns his head this way, he has an earlobe that's attached to his head. Over here, he's got a normal earlobe. Who knows why he's got a weird earlobes like that? Who knows why he's growing 2 balls on his chin, too? I don't understand what's up with that. Yeah, so Fanny's going off. That whole case, I think, is imploding. But Arizona is ready to start another whole case against Trump for pretty much the same thing in Arizona. They never give up. They never give up. So, yeah, it was a great night at Freedom Corner. It wasn't raining on them. It was good. There was about 9 Patriots there last night. God bless those Patriots at Freedom Corner every night, man. That is the tip of the spear right there. They have, I think they have moved mountains at this point. If nobody had ever started Freedom Corner, God bless you, Mickey. God bless you, Nicole. God bless you, Tammy. If nobody has ever started that, we would be light years behind of where we are right now. So I think their mountains are beginning to move because of Freedom Corner. Yeah, he was on something there, and it definitely wore off throughout the night. So I want to go see the Tucker digest of the speech afterwards. I didn't watch the Republican rebuttal. I couldn't find that anywhere. I don't know if any of you watched that, but that's usually a good thing. And it's usually an up-and-comer Republican that presents the rebuttal to the State of the Union address. It was some gal who I'm not sure, I've never heard of her before, but I would like to see that rebuttal just to see how she did with that. I did hear that, what's that chick's name? Anna Paulina Luna did not even attend that State of the Union address because she refuses to be complicit in the charade. So what's Alina talking about? Anna Paulina talking about there? She couldn't even sit there and listen to him talk because she knows the whole thing's a charade, huh? Is that what they're saying? Is that what people who have access to secret information are saying? What else? I'm just hoping that the people who voted for Biden start having some type of voter remorse, soon, rather than being sheepish and just trying to scoot away. Like actually fess up to the fact that, yes, we voted for the wrong guy. He has destroyed this country. He will continue to destroy this country if we continue to support him. There's always going to be the hardliners who will never admit they're wrong. And I think that's a human flaw. That is not a good quality to have. When you're wrong, you got to admit you're wrong. Otherwise, you're no different than a 3-year-old. So when you realize that you're wrong, fess up and say you're wrong. I'm sorry. I voted for Joe Biden. I didn't, but fess up, man. Help us get rid of the problem. Help us sweep up the mess here. Are you going to vote for Joe Biden and then make everybody else clean the mess up? I think you should jump in and become involved with clean up an aisle Joe. Okay, I saw a little tidbit of information from Elon Musk, too, that I didn't know about, man. All right, Glory be, you're going to get to Freedom Corner again, so just take it easy. Pace yourself, make sure you're well before you get back there. Nikki Haley, yeah, who knows what that was. I think Nikki Haley helped burn a lot of people's money, though, and that's a good thing. We'll see what happens with Nikki Haley yet here. All right, we got cop activity here. What's going on? I can't see what's going on, but... oh, well. Nothing to be alarmed at. I thought I was at Freedom Corner there for a second. I was having a flashback, a post-traumatic flashback of bullhorns at Freedom Corner. Okay, Carol Windsor saw the rebuttal lady wasn't the strongest. Any one of our ladies from Freedom Corner would have been great. Wow. What a compliment, Carol. What a compliment. Yes, they are great, aren't they? Mickey or Nicole or Tammy. They have all learned how to speak well in front of people. And yes, FJB's speech last night was repulsive. An embarrassment. All right, Carrie. Yes, it's good to take a break every once in a while, right? Been offline most of the week. Maybe next, clearing my mind. Excellent idea, dude. Excellent idea. All this shit will be here when you come back in. So what Elon said has to do with the census, all right? And he said, he made a statement or a tweet or an X or whatever you call them now. He said, census counts all people, including migrants, which results in Dems getting up to 20 more House seats. So I didn't know this, okay? I thought when they take a census, and they do a census every 10 years, so they just did one in 2020, that they counted all people. So that would include all the illegals that got in on Obama's term, which was at least 12 million that I've seen him admit to. And then all the other illegal immigrants that, well, the ones that came in since Joe Biden was president wouldn't be on the 2020 census. But that when they're counting the amount of House of Representatives people you have from your state has to do with the population. So the more people you get, the more representatives you get. So like the state of Rhode Island, I think only has 2 House of Representatives, and Delaware, they only have 1 or 2 representatives in the House. I could be totally wrong on this, but what I'm saying is they have less than New York, okay? New York's got 15, or California's got 18, and they get more representation in the House of Representatives by having all these illegal immigrants in their states. So it seems to me that Elon just keeps pointing out these little things here and there and there that make you go, what? What's going on there? Why is it that way? Who made that rule? Is this tyranny, like fixing the game so that they can get what they want? Is this tyrants just and then they can cheat that whole vote because those people can't vote anyways? I mean, is that how they're getting all these names on these ballots and these people registering to vote? It's a rigged game, and we're not in it. And we got to end it before this election comes. They ask how many people live with you. That's it. Okay, so they're not looking for IDs from everybody. So if you're housing 18 migrants in the shack behind your farm, you say you got 22 people living there, and then the number of representatives that state gets hinges on the number of people in that state. So there's 12 million people making those numbers inaccurate, for sure. 12 million non-voting people. Okay, one bombshell that FJB let out in the speech last night, too, that I've never heard of, is that he's planning on putting a temporary port at Gaza so that humanitarian aid can get into Gaza, so these people can eat and fight Israel at the same time. If they just stayed there right now and didn't evacuate and flee and go somewhere, but even though nobody else wants them, their brothers in Egypt don't want them, their brothers in Saudi Arabia don't want them, they got nowhere to go. And rather than give up, we're going to give them humanitarian aid so that they can eat right before they get annihilated, basically. So great idea, FJB. Great idea. I'm sure no Americans are going to get hurt in that plan. I'm sure no refugees are going to end up on an aircraft carrier heading back to America in that plan. I'm sure of it. I'm just sure. That's a great idea, FJB. I am, of course, speaking sarcastically. That's one of the dumbest ideas I've ever heard in my life. That puts Americans in harm's way. That's setting up another refugee crisis. Like the whole reason Gaza's there in the first place is because of wars that happened 70 years ago. They couldn't deal with what to do with the refugees. That's what the Palestinians are right now. They're refugees when Israel decimated the enemies that came against them back in the 60s. All right, and then last night in the State of the Union address, there was a guy, his name's Steve Nakui. And I don't know if you noticed it, halfway through the speech, somebody started screaming and yelling up in the balcony or in the back somewhere. The cameras never went to it, but I'll tell you who this guy was. Steve Nakui is a Gold Star parent of Lance Corporal Kareem Nakui, who died over in Afghanistan, okay? And this kid's father who died, Steve Nakui, feels that Joe Biden caused that death and that Joe Biden was lying about that death and wasn't addressing the topic in his State of the Union speech. He got arrested and charged with a misdemeanor. So here we got, another victim of the FJB imposter regime in the White House right now. I'm not going to pad my words anymore about it. This guy didn't win the election. He is killing this country. A lot of people voted for this guy, but not 81 million. And we got to get this guy out of office. He's gonna kill us all. We got a guy ready to drive the bus right off a cliff here. And if it goes till November, the front wheels are going to be hanging off the cliff by then. So we got to do something about this, Patriots. And coming together every day and talking about this is, at least this is something, right? At least we got something. So that's about all I got today. We got fights all over the place, man. There's no lack of where do I jump in? You know, what fight do you want to get into? Amos Miller, we got the border, we got the military, we got the COVID mandate thing, we got judges, we got legislatures. Government ain't saving us, man. His son was a Marine, and then his older son died on his brother's grave. Ooh, I didn't know the whole story behind this Steve Nakui guy. Wow, that's horrible. He got charged with a misdemeanor, but MTG didn't get charged when she yelled, "Say her name." Yeah, MTG wore a red hat, Make America Great Again hat. And she gave FJB a pin that said, "Say her name." And then he didn't even say her name correctly. Was I mistaken there? Did he say Lincoln or something instead of Lakin Riley? He said Lincoln Riley or something. And he held that pin up. You see that? When he pulled that pin, he goes, "Oh, really?" He did that "oh, really" thing. Really? Like 3 times in that speech last night. You just want to reach through the screen and choke the guy, man. Yeah, the father should have just pulled the fire alarm, right? No arrests. That doesn't happen. Just a little letter asking forgiveness, right? It's amazing how two-sided this whole thing is, Patriots. And the people who love the country, who just want to have a prosperous, happy life of liberty, are the enemies somehow here. All right, so we're not on the same page, Agate, okay? That's all there is to it. You're allowed to think what you want. You like the rules. Maybe the rules make you feel better. All right, I just found some funny memes. I'm going to throw some memes up here. I thought this one was pretty funny. And Agate, I'm not going to explain why I think this is funny, but I just think it's funny. Yeah, he didn't get her name right, there, Cleo. Right. He could not do it, man. What was on Troy Nell's shirt? I didn't see. Okay, this is something I'm having a hard time explaining to people. When someone asks me where all my friends are, they're in the computer. But this is all new to me too, Patriots. I'm not used to hanging out in chats and having like long-term relationships with people who I've never even met. All I know is what we all type to each other and what we talk about. And I know we're brothers and sisters, but you're all in my computer. You're all in my phone. But every once in a while, we get the beautiful moment where we get to meet some of the Patriots that we have known for a year or two. And it is beautiful when we finally do get to meet. Yeah, that was like a campaign speech last night. That didn't... Oh, Troy Nels wore a Trump's mugshot shirt. Oh, I didn't know that. That's great. That's great. Okay, here's where we are, man. If you really supported the troops, you wouldn't send them to fight meaningless wars based on lies. Lies, lies, lies. Why so many lies? And here's where we are. 125 years ago, you didn't have to ask permission from the government to collect rainwater, go fishing, own a property, start a business, renovate your home, build a home, use a transportation vehicle, get married, hunt, own a weapon, cut hair, sell a product, protest, grow food on your property, set up a lemonade stand, or sell food. You can do virtually nothing without being extorted by the government and obtaining their permission first. If you still think you're free, you're deluding yourself. You live in a tax farm as a free-range humans. That's it in a nutshell. That's what we're talking about. That's what I just spent a half hour ranting about, and here it is in one meme. One easy to understand meme. In 1999, Dr. Martin Luther King's family won a civil lawsuit proving the U.S. government was responsible for his assassination. Yes, glory be, it was division. It was a night of causing further division, because that's the only way they can prosper. All right, here's the power of memes. Bring your memes, let's go. The AI can't read memes. Yeah, Cleo, all my friends don't live in the computer, but yeah, right. I have lots of friends other than that. But it is a weird thing that I have friends that I have not met with, who I've been hanging out with in chats for 2 years. But it is so cool when I finally meet them people. Oh, this is a great one, man. Gym teacher. Now, this game is called dodgeball. And if you play your cards right, the person you hate the most, will be crying like a bitch within minutes. Undiluted truth, man. Undiluted truth. All right, the white outfits is a suffragette origin, but the Democrat women have adopted for years. And Tulsi Gabbard wore all white at CPAC last year. I don't trust her. I don't either. I don't either trust Tulsi. A lot of people like her, though. I like Kristi Noem. She's real. Tulsi, not so. In fact, Kristi Noem might be my pick for vice president. Yeah, right. He said, I know how you feel when talking about Lakely. Or Lakin. Well, and then when you were a guy and the girls were, well, I don't remember playing dodgeball with girls. It was always just the guys or just the girls. Yeah, we can't overlook, right? All right, yeah. Did you ever realize woke was an acronym? Willfully overlooking known evil. There you go. Amen. Hello, Rebecca. I thank God that America has patriots like you. I just went to jail to visit the J6er, and I thank the J6ers who paid the price for saving our country. Amen, patriot. Amen. There's some awesome patriots at Freedom Corner that have been visiting the J6ers ever for 585 days now. The J6ers don't even get regular visitation like the rest of the people, by the way. They can only visit on Fridays. And as far as I know, they can't have video visits. Is that still true? It just seems like a two-tiered system. All right, here we are at the pearly gates. Wow, only 22 and murdered by an illegal immigrant. There's Lake and Riley standing there, and wow, what a concept. There's a wall in heaven. I don't know if there's really a wall, but there you have it, right there. The pearly gates. Even heaven's got gates and a wall, right? All right, I'm getting better at dragging memes in here. I'm thinking of writing this on the back of my van. Take that stupid mask off. You're driving alone. Remember that, people? Remember that. I saw cars that had plastic hung around the driver's seats. Unbelievable idiocy that got exposed with that. All right, partly cloudy with a 100 chance of aluminum, barium, and Agenda 21. Look at that sky. Okay, wow, Dead for Freedom with a link here. TheFederalist.com. Exclusive Liz Cheney, January 6th committee suppressed exonerating evidence of Trump's push for National Guard. Yeah, all right, more information coming out on that then. Awesome. Oh, here, this one's better. Sorry, I didn't see this one first there, Deb. So we got Nancy Pelosi involved with that. We got Muriel Bowser, the mayor of D.C., involved with that decision. Yeah, I never wore a mask in the car either, Carol. That was a dark time, man. We knew stuff was going on. Okay, Glory B says, I think they just started to be able to have video visits in some cases, but I don't think all. I remember hearing like something was going to change on that. All right, I think I got one more here. Just in case you don't know, no farmers, no food. That's all there is to it. We need our farmers. We love our farmers. We should all know how to be farmers. We should all be involved in some type of farming. It's so good for you just to plant something and tend it and grow it and eat it is a beautiful thing that God delivered to the inhabitants of this world so that they could experience an aspect of God. Put a seed in the ground, it grows. There's millions of lessons all in just watching that all happen and how to do it and how much work it takes and how much sacrifice it takes to do that, man. Okay, ACB says there was millions of dollars in Biden's Inflation Reduction Act for geoengineering testing. It's all the secret stuff they hide in there, right? Okay, Agate says, I have to wear a mask in public because my 87-year-old mom lives with me and she has CLL. I'm sorry you feel that way. Yeah, I'm sorry you feel that way too, Agate. And you think that mask is going to be any type of a benefit for your mother? I'm really sorry you feel that way. Because I think that's a delusion. All right, Patriots. That's all I got today. I finally got all the memes I've been collecting for a while there put out. Now I can clear that memory there and start looking for some more. I hope you guys like that stuff. It gives a chance to just chat for a little while. Thanks for hanging out with me today, Patriots. I probably went on a little bit too much today, but some days are better than others, man. So I'll see you out there at Freedom Corner in the chats tonight. And God bless you all, Patriots. Thanks for hanging out with me. This is Jericho, over and out.